Welcome back to the Pisces Dead People Die Weekly podcast. We here at the PDPDWpc say, if you enjoy these, leave a like. Also, comment down below and let me know your opinion on my opinions. And don't forget to Seth Rollins stomp that subscribe button and clock that bell if you want to keep up with new episodes. We start today's Raw off with Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and The Vision coming to the ring. Paul Heyman goes around and tells everybody how great each and every individual member of the group is, starting with himself, of course, Paul Heyman style, and then moving on to Bron Breakker, then Bronson Reed, and finally Seth Rollins himself, really setting up Seth, even saying that he was better than Paul. And so, with all this being said, he's gloating and talking about Clash in Paris, and then all of a sudden, boom, Jey Uso comes down in the crowd, and Paul Heyman goes out on this rant about we're in Philadelphia, and let me tell you something about Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the place where ECW was pretty much born and inherited, so we need to do this. And Jay pretty much interrupted, said, you don't even gotta say it, we're gonna do this Extreme Rules style. So we got ourselves a main event Extreme Rules match between Bron Breakker and Jey Uso. I was very happy with that. The intro itself was phenomenal. Between the talking, there was no mess ups. The crowd was really into it. This is the first crowd that didn't boo Paul as he tried to say his name, which Paul enjoyed that, especially considering where they were. Though there was no action, not every intro has to have action. But if it does set up a future match or a main event, that's always a plus. So, ultimately, I am rating the intro of this one a 4.2 out of 5. The first match of the night was Io Sky versus Raquel Rodriguez. That was actually pretty interesting considering, Io just got done facing Roxanne Perez a couple weeks ago, or last week, excuse me. So now she's going up against tag partners, which that seems to be a big thing now. It's like one person goes up against one tag partner one week, one person goes against a tag partner, the other tag partner the next week. So, nonetheless, it was a good match. Not really a bad match at all. I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. But I do gotta say it was interesting that, even though Io went and told Asuka and Kairi Sane, hey, I got this, I need to do this on my own, she didn't complain about Rhea coming out and helping her. But I do understand at the same time, and I don't imagine it'll be putting any kind of dialogue on the show, but it kind of should, just to clear things up. But clearing things up don't make drama go. Drama's good for the show, but it should be stated that Rhea did come out after the match was over already. So she didn't come out and interfere and help. She certainly didn't get involved in the match and try to distract the referee and do stuff that, like, why would Io want you to do that? Was that y'all's style before? It might have been. I'm not entirely sure, but at this point, y'all are supposed to be, I imagine, faces, and you are definitely pulling some heel tactics, trying to come out and distract the ref or interfere. Essentially, it's good to be on standby, but to get directly involved after being told not to, not cool. But hey, that was last week. This is this week. Rhea came out and helped, and then Asuka and Rhea started getting in each other's face, which would be nice to actually see a match between them happen, but that might be next week. Not sure. But ultimately, it was an enjoyable match. Like I said, 4 out of 5. In between those matches, you see CM Punk trying to tell LA Knight, hey, we need to form some kind of an alliance or something, me, you, and Jay, because Twinker Bell and the Dum Dums over there, they're going to do something, and we need to be good in numbers. And LA Knight, in his good old fashioned LA Knight style, pretty much told him buzz off, like, we got beef, so I ain't teaming up with you. And even though they got beef, that's fine. I'll deal my beef with him later. But CM Punk's just like, I'm just trying to get us to Clash in Paris, and but it didn't work. LA Knight didn't want anything to do with it, so CM Punk moved on. The match after that was one of the only things that we knew that was happening from last week, and that was Xavier Woods against Penta, and was a good match. It wasn't the best. I mean, it wasn't the best match of the night, but ultimately there was nothing bad, just the same old, and considering that we haven't really seen Xavier get in the ring in a while, that he might maybe pull a new move out or something, but it seemed like it was just same old stuff we always see. Penta was the one driving, and he won, so, EO won the last one, Penta won that one. Didn't expect any different, and, I gotta give it a 3.9 out of 5. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the best of the night either, so, no hate. But moving on to the next match, we had the Judgment Day versus Dragon Lee and Mr. Iguana. So this means that Mr. Iguana has officially been on both SmackDown and Raw. So hey, he's really making his rounds. Not to mention, I did think that because of the interference on the Fatal 4-Way at Triple Mania with Judgment Day and the LWO coming out, I figured that it'd be Tag Team LWO versus Tag Team Judgment Day. But we did get a little bit of LWO with Dragon Lee, which is nice. And sometimes I forget he's a part of the LWO with how much he's on the solo scene. But no hate on anybody. I was rooting for Judgment Day, but I did think that Mr. Iguana and Dragon Lee were going to take it, considering Judgment Day did beat Mr. Iguana. And, Nino and Berguesa and Lola Vice at Triple Mania. But Judgment Day pulled out a second win. So the tag team, of JD Madonna and Finn Balor has been dominating recently. They're earning those tag team belts. So I gave that one a 4.1 out of 5 stars. Well, there were a couple of little mess ups. The crowd energy wasn't, completely there. And on top of it all, it was a little unpredictable, but still a little more predictable than, moveset wise than what we've seen. Especially with Mr. Iguana. I mean, he doesn't have to pull something spectacular out all the time, but for a little bit there, you were just on the ground flopping around like an iguana. So, I get it, that's your gimmick, but, if that's your screen time, well, that's my rating. So, all love and all things considered, it was a good match, but like I said, 4.1 was my rating on the match, which I think is still pretty good. We had Natalya against Becky Lynch afterwards, which this one was the worst of the night. Not saying that it is bad, but considering maybe it's because Natalya was still tired from Triple Mania, who knows. But Becky has been lacking recently, and then Natalya kind of came in a little lackluster with what she had going on over the weekend, which was, different than what the announcers actually said, because, Michael Cole had said something about how she's fired up from over the weekend. She didn't really show it that much. Some good moves and all, but Becky, making her tap, whatever. 3.65 out of 5 stars is that's what I got for that one. And then she went after Maxine afterwards, which, for the drama's sake is fine, but, I don't know. I'm going to move on. The main event, of course, was Jey Uso versus Bron Breakker in the Extreme Rules match. The moves on this one were very good. The crowd was running wild. The unpredictable at all cost. but there was a couple of small little timing issues, and I ain't trying to be picky, but these are the things I look for if I'm going to give a rating, and it earned them a 4.9 out of 5 stars. Look, over the weekend, I gave a lot of 5-star matches to Triple Mania matches. 4 out of 6 matches were 5 stars. After a weekend like that, just seeing the smallest little things, that's going to make me knock it off a little bit. So, it was almost a perfect match, but there were a couple small things that I saw that I had to give it a lesser rating. So, no hate, 4.9 though. That's 99 out of 100 pretty much. So, that was the main event, which altogether that brings the show's rating, this Raw rating, to a 4.2 out of 5 stars. So, pretty good. I got about 4 or 5 ratings under my belt so far, and this one is the worst, but for a 4.2 out of 5, that's pretty good to be my worst one so far. So, with that being said, we finally got more matches for Clash in Paris. We have 4 matches officially, and should have one more known by Raw next week. Maybe another one from on SmackDown, but I don't know if they're going to have 6 matches on Clash in Paris or not. Maybe 5 would be it, but they got to figure something out for that women's match with Stephanie McClure, though. But the 4 matches that we have Sheamus versus Rusev in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook. I hope and pray and think also that Sheamus is going to win that one. That's my prediction, tried and true. Sheamus is my boy. He's taking Rusev down. It's a coin toss, truly, but I'm behind Sheamus all the way. We have John Cena versus Logan Paul. John Cena said that Logan Paul does wrestling better than anybody in the WWE, and Logan Paul turned that around on John Cena and said, and that means you too. And they're going to put that to the test. And I think John Cena is walking out with a dub. You know? He's not the champion anymore, but I can't imagine him losing too much on this tour. But not against Logan Paul, man. I mean, not to mention, like, Logan's been great about being the fall guy for a lot of these guys too, you know. He does well with what he does. So, with that being said, yeah, I think John's going to be the winner of this one. We have the Fatal 4-Way for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus Jey Uso versus LA Knight. Yeah. Speaking of I do think LA Knight's going to win this one. And that is a wild toss-up, you know. Who in the right mind can just confidently put out one that's not Seth Rollins right now? Seth Rollins has 2 guys on his back plus a sneaky Paul Heyman. Everybody's like, he's definitely going to get it. And look, I like Seth Rollins in the vision. But CM Punk won the championship. Jay has had the championship. Seth currently has the championship. LA Knight is the underdog in this situation, and he's never the underdog. So, I'm just saying, LA Knight's going to pull a fast one, and he's walking out of there with that World Heavyweight Championship. For how long? I don't know, but he's going to win. That's what I'm putting my money on. We have Roman Reigns versus Big Bronson Reed. The Ula Fala versus the Shula Fala. I think Roman Reigns is taking it. You know? I mean, he might not. I mean, it's kind of a toss-up on this one too. But I think Roman Reigns has got this one. Personally, looking at how I chose who I think is going to win over these 4 matches at Clash in Paris, I think I just chose my winners based off of charisma. Because, like, these are the most charismatic people in the matches. So, yeah, I think that might just be it. And who knows if they add another one or not, then it may not be like that. But just looking at these 4, yeah, I chose mine based on charisma, I feel like. But next SmackDown, we have a John Cena appearance. Maybe he'll be talking to Logan Paul. Maybe he'll be talking about Logan Paul, but it's definitely going to be Clash in Paris. We also have Motor City Machine Guns versus Mello Don't Miz. There's going to be an implosion on Mello Don't Miz. Or Carmelo's going to want to, and then all of a sudden, like, Miz is going to have him lined up for championships, and he's going to want to even more, and then the Miz is going to help him win the tag team championship. He's going to look at the gold, he's going to be like, I want to be mad at you, but I can't be mad at you because I got this now. So, that's going to be fun. We got Aleister Black versus R-Truth. They finally get back to, where they left off. Damien kind of got in the way, which hurt him a little bit. It hurt Aleister, couldn't get to Truth, and now I wonder if Ron Killings is going to pull a sneaky one again. But we'll have to wait and see. That's going to be on SmackDown. We might also, I'm still waiting on it, but Michin versus Julia for the United States Championship. I think it might happen. They've talked about it a couple of weeks in a row. So it might just happen. Next Raw, we have Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez. And then we got Kofi Kingston versus Penta. I talked about it earlier in the show. They got people going up against different tag partners left and right. You had Penta against Xavier Woods on this Raw. You got Penta against Kofi Kingston next one. You had, I'm pretty sure that either last week or the week before was a Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez match, and now she's against Roxanne. So, just saying, they got that on wraps, which is good, a good kind of time filler. You expect it. So, you got that to expect on Raw, those two matches at least. And then we got a match set up for Worlds Collide, so that's pretty cool. I don't know how many more will be actually promoted across WWE platforms, but I should definitely tune in to AAA and see what they got going on there. But we got the rematch, or an actual singles match, Dominic Mysterio versus Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship. Dom feels like, if it wasn't for AJ, he would have won. A lot of people feel that way. I personally feel that way. But we'll see if he can handle it on a one-on-one match. To see Dom as a double champion, I think the world can't handle that right now. Either a ton of people are going to love it, and a ton of people are going to hate it, or just everybody's going to love it, which I feel like is what it's going to be right now. So, we'll have to wait and see. But it looks like that's everything. If you like what I do here, leave a like down below. Also, comment down below, and let me know your opinion on my opinions. And don't forget to Superman punch that subscribe button and clock that bell to keep up with new episodes. Alright, I'm jumping off here, guys. Peace.